Hello, beautiful. Welcome. It's 8 a.m. I am going live, and my name is Karolina Rzadkowska. I'm the author of the book Euphoric: Ditch Alcohol and Gain a Happier, More Confident You. I'm also the founder of the business Euphoric AF, where I help women not only make alcohol insignificant in their lives, but discover their greater passions and purpose. And I'm just so passionate about that because I don't think the point is just to remove some pain out of your life, right? Remove a little bit of a missing piece or something like that. It is to find something greater. It is to literally make space for something that really fulfills you. And so changing your life is literally not just about removing the things that are painful. It is literally creating more meaning and more fulfillment and more purpose in your life. And this week right now, I'm doing this really cool workshop called Ditch Alcohol and Discover Your Purpose because I really believe how important this is. I really truly believe that, discovering our purpose and really sitting inside and discovering what we really desire to do on this planet, what we really are compelled to create and give back is one of the most important work we could ever do because one day literally we're going to all be 95 years old, fingers crossed, and imagine, sitting there and having all this regret for the things you didn't do, for the gift you didn't share, for, the person you didn't become, for the thing you didn't do, for the purpose you didn't express. And so if you want to catch that workshop, you can still enroll. You'll get the replays from yesterday and Monday, and then you'll see today's video. It's at 2 p.m. Pacific, and also Thursday and Friday. We still have a lot to go, so great to see everyone here today. You can enroll at the link in my bio, or if you're on Facebook, obviously, you can go to becomeeuphoric.com/discover. Anyway, so I want to talk today about what is fulfillment and how do we feel fulfilled? And oftentimes I see that a lot of people make transformations in their life, right? We start by actually having a little bit of pain in our life and recognizing, hey, I'm off course. I'm off course here. Something's not in alignment. Something doesn't feel good. And when I work with women, when it comes to alcohol, it's not this rock bottom moment. It's not this like, oh my God, alcohol's completely taken over my life. But it's literally created this detour where they're not aligned with their values, where they're not living out their deeper purpose, where they're doing the same thing every weekend and their health is like they say that they want health, but then alcohol doesn't make them feel good because alcohol is a toxic beverage, right? And it creates headaches in people. Like that's just the science of how it works. And so, really aligning your life to your deeper values and to your dreams is so important. So, first, we work on obviously changing their relationships with alcohol and changing and really the belief system around that relationship. But then something really cool happens after that. Yes, you remove something that doesn't serve you, but what you do essentially is create a lot of space to discover what really does serve you and to create a life that is built on this meaning and this fulfillment. And so finding fulfillment in your life is something that's so important because if you don't, literally you'll be unhappy, right? And you'll have this deep discontent of what you could have done or could have been. And I don't think it's just this idea of like happiness, right? Happiness is great and we could all be happy and stuff, but I think fulfillment is deeper. And I'm going to share with you the two missing pieces that I see are missing from most people's equations when it comes to fulfillment in their lives, right? So I'm a huge believer in our top human needs. And our top human needs, there's all these different ways to categorize them, right? There's different frameworks, but the framework that I really, really love comes from Tony Robbins. And he shares that we have 6 human needs, right? And just like Maslow did back in the 1940s with the pyramid thing, there's needs that govern our basic security. There's needs that govern our basic sense of needing love in our lives, right? Like love is a huge human need. That's why we need our families. That's why we have partners. That's why we have friendships and stuff like that. Love and connection is a huge human need, right? We have all these different needs that govern our need to feel like we matter and that we're important and that we have security. We have a house over our head, all this kinds of stuff, right? We have a little variety in our lives. But I really believe that two missing pieces that most people do not actively incorporate into their lives are this: growth and contribution. Growth and contributions are the two missing pieces to fulfillment. And why do most people not incorporate into their life? So let's start with growth. So growth is this idea that you are always striving to become a wiser, more intuitive, more aligned version of you, right? that there is no comparison with you against someone else, that you're just comparing yourself to you. And growing would mean that you are actively learning new things, that you are actively getting mentored, that you're actively trying new things, that you're going out of your comfort zone often in order to grow, right? You can't grow if you're always stagnant. You can't grow if you're always doing the same thing over and over again. You can't grow if you're not learning. You can't grow if you're stuck. Growth doesn't happen there, right? And growth is so important. If you really think about it, in this known universe, everything is either growing or dying, right? Like trees either grow or die. Animals are either growing or are dying, right? Even the universe itself is expanding right now. Like everything in our known universe is growing or dying. And it's so common for us to have growth early in our lives, right? We grow a lot when we're really young. We learn a lot. We develop a lot. We have not only intellectual growth, we have emotional growth, we have spiritual growth. We grow. We have teachers, we have mentors, we have education in front of us, like college and high school and stuff like that. And then we get into adulthood and we just hit this like plateau. We stop growing. We really stop valuing growth. And it's just not common in our society to continue growing. You know, I could mention like 10 random people on the street, and probably only 1 out of 10 of them has any kind of active plan for growth, or any kind of like, maybe they're enrolled in a coaching program or in some kind of like conferences that they go to, but like 9 out of 10 people will have nothing like that on their plate, right? And that is a huge missing piece, because if we're not growing, we're dying. And if we're not expanding our beliefs and expanding what we think is possible and expanding what we personally can do in our world, we literally do feel like we're dying. And that's why discontent and unfulfillment and dissatisfaction and like even midlife crises, that's why that's so normal in our societies, because we stop growing. And so, you know, growing to me looks like actively always achieving a level higher than the one I was before. So that when I look at last year, I can literally see I'm the same person, but I'm kind of a different person. You know what I mean? Like last year I thought this, last year I believed this, last year I acted like this, and this year it's different and improved and evolved. I mean, maybe evolution is even a better word than growth, because it makes sense in this way that you're always evolving. And if you're not always evolving, you're stuck and you're stagnant and you're technically dying. Now, how do I grow? How does one grow, right? Obviously, just the idea of learning is a growth mechanism, right? Because you're learning something you didn't know before. And you could learn in all kinds of ways. You could learn through books, you could learn through conferences, you could learn through podcasts, you could learn through live videos, right? But it can go much, much deeper than just learning something new. Honestly, I think it's not just learning something new, it's doing something new. Like you have to get out your comfort zone in order to grow, right? I remember, for example, like now this is super normal for me, but I remember the first few times I like pitched myself to be on a podcast or something, or I asked basically like a favor, or I put myself out there in a scary way. And I remember the first few times I did that, it was terrifying. I was like, oh my God, what if I'm rejected? What if they don't like me? What if all this stuff? I was so scared. And I literally, obviously, I can still feel scared today, depending on who I'm pitching myself to, but it's not the same big deal anymore. It's like I grew and I evolved, and now the fear that I used to have like 3 years or 4 years ago isn't the same fear anymore. It's slightly different, or the fear is for the next level, right? It's not for that level I was at. So I literally pushed myself outside my comfort zone. Changing your relationship with alcohol is a perfect example, right? Like you're so stuck in this comfort zone of using alcohol always for comfort or for fun, and you have to take a leap of faith outside of that to take a break and to change that pattern. And so that is a growth, right? And especially if you're immersed in a learning environment where you really change your beliefs around alcohol, you don't just white knuckle it, that is really what's going to lead to a lot of growth. And growth leads us to literally essentially get to know ourselves better, get to know what we want, get to know our desires, and really grow our self-worth. Because when you grow, you tell yourself, I have value. I have value, and it's worthy to invest time and energy into this. Time, energy, and money, right? I have value. I am the biggest asset of my life. There's no more important asset than me in this life. I am going to invest the time, the energy, and the money in order to grow, in order to become a better version of myself. And the thing is that like it rewards over and over, because you recognize your growth and then you invest in your growth, and then the value that you're able to bring is literally more and more and more. I mean, someone who's been growing their whole lives has a lot more to offer someone else than someone who's never done growth before because they've literally expanded themselves. They have learned so much. They have gone through different challenges. They've gone out of their comfort zone hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. And so if growth isn't really a part of your like formula, if it's not something you're actively doing right now, I mean that's a huge missing piece to fulfillment is this growth. And let me tell you how I do it. So, obviously, there's a lot of ways I do it. Yes, I'm always reading. Yes, I'm listening to podcasts. But for me, I'm also always in a container where I have a mentor. I'm always having a coach or in a group program. Why? Because I can't see what's next, how to do the next big thing, how to grow, because I haven't been there yet. I haven't done that thing yet, right? I'm at this level, but I don't know what it's like to be at this level. I've never seen it. I don't know it. I don't have any experience with it. So I work with mentors in order to help me get to that level because that's where they already are. And that's why working with a coach can be so effective because this mentor can really bring you and grow you, right? And when you grow yourself, you literally increase your value in society and you're able probably to attract more money, more abundance, more opportunities, right? It's such a beautiful thing. So I'm always doing coaching. I'm always in some kind of group container. That is like a no-brainer for me. 5 years ago, I had zero of that in my life. You know, every once in a while, maybe I would read a self-help book, but I had no growth in my life. And there's like no wonder why I was so unfulfilled and alcohol was the highlight. I wasn't doing any growth, right? And so if you don't have a commitment to growth right now in your life, I highly recommend it. You will never be disappointed in investing the time and energy to grow yourself. And there's just so many ways to get started that there's really no excuse. And it really is one of our top human needs. So if you don't have growth in your life, you're going to feel unfulfilled. That's just the science of psychology, okay? So make a plan for growth today. And, you know, at the end of, I mean, literally this week already, we're starting to enroll in the Become Emboldened program. Become Emboldened is a 4-month program for women who are already alcohol free. You actually have to be at least 2 months alcohol free at that point and want to not only become solid in their identity and confident in their identity in the alcohol free lifestyle and just like remove all the romanticism around alcohol, but then discover and go after their deeper purpose to really find this fulfillment in their life, their next chapter, right? The next business they're going to launch, the next book they're going to write, the, you know, incredible travel lifestyle they're going to imbue on or whatever it is, embark on. There's this next level that's coming for us, right? And so this is a perfect program for you if you're looking for growth, if you're already taking a break from alcohol, you're already 2 months at least alcohol free, and you really want to propel yourself and see what you're capable of when you put your growth first. Because trust me, there's going to be some kind of incredible thing that you create that brings value to other people. I promise you. My clients have gone on to launch businesses that make them, that replace their income literally from their 9 to 5 job and are able to then do whatever they want. They're able to write books. They're able to launch podcasts. They're able to do so much more because they started growing themselves. Okay. And now, for time's sake, too, I really want to talk about the second missing piece. The second missing piece in fulfillment is contribution. So we have growth and contribution. Now, these two things are often, again, not normally incorporated into an average person's life. Contribution is this idea that we feel like not only do we matter, but we matter because we are helping someone else. Our lives have meaning because we contribute back. We make a difference. We make an impact. You know, I think that most of us, especially anyone who grew up in my generation, like making a social difference, making an impact in our world, that's a huge, huge deal. Like, we value that. We see how many broken systems there are. We see what's happening to the environment. We see so many things that are just not right in our world. And to be able to feel like you can contribute and make a difference to the things that hurt your heart, to the social causes that pull on your strings, really, really, really matters. And now I'm not just talking about like volunteering or donating money. All those things are great. But when I'm talking about contribution, I'm talking about having this autonomy over your contribution. I'm talking about really feeling like the thing that you do really matters and is changing lives. And sometimes when you just volunteer for 4 hours at a soup kitchen, yes, it's a great experience. Yes, you get to touch other people, but you're not like systemically actually changing or the problem or offering a solution, right? It's just that one moment. It's like a band-aid. And also, we don't have the autonomy, right? Some volunteer coordinators telling us what to do, and we're like, okay, I'll do this for a little bit. I'm talking about where you make your life about giving back, about helping other people. And it's often tied with your greater purpose. right? Your greater purpose is actually to give back. Your greater purpose is actually to build maybe a career or a passion or a side thing out of giving back. And how does this look? Well, my favorite way is I was just talking about how important mentorship is. My favorite way is actually becoming a mentor and helping other people that have a challenge that you've already overcome or solved, right? There's nothing more fulfilling than helping someone who's already already in a challenge that you've already overcome and you've already learned through that. But there's so many ways, right? Like you can grow something, create something, build something that helps other people, whether it's a community. You know, how many incredible alcohol-free communities do we have nowadays? How many bars and mocktail events do we have? Like that's a contribution. That's giving people this space and this venue to have an incredible time and connect under this like-minded, theme. There's all these ways of, giving back information by writing a book, maybe changing lives that way, changing lives by sharing your story, changing lives by, coaching someone, changing lives by maybe even launching a business that has nothing to do with like impact, but then you donate proceeds from your business to help something you really care about. You know what I mean? There's so much power, there's so much empowerment in coming when we actually step into our purpose and we really contribute back to the world and really care about making our life surrounded by these two things, growth and contribution. So those are, I think, just two missing pieces that are really lacking in our world, and it is literally the key to fulfillment. So you might be having all your other needs met. You might be, you've changed your relationship with alcohol, you have all this love and connection in your life, you have all your basic needs met. But if you don't have growth and contribution in your life, it's going to be a missing hole, a missing gap to find that sense of fulfillment. And so I highly recommend really making a plan right now, really getting intentional about how am I going to incorporate growth and contribution into my life. And now growth is really scary. It sounds really easy, that word, like, yeah, I'm growing. But it's not. Growth literally means taking like leaps of faith all the time. It means taking risks. It means literally believing that you are the biggest investment in your life and believing in yourself and believing in your capabilities and going after new opportunities and learning new things and putting yourself out there in different containers and trying new things, right? It is not easy. Growth. I remember there was like, you know how you can say like choose a word for 2021? I chose the word growth. And I thought, okay, great. I want all this growth. It's going to be great, right? All this growth is going to happen. Growth is often very painful, right? Growth can often really stretch us and really get us to like feel sometimes like we don't know what we're doing, because this is the thing about growth is you're always trying something new and getting outside of your comfort zone. So every new thing you do, you already mastered the thing that you're comfortable with. So now the new thing is something you're not comfortable with. So now you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. Right? It is challenging, but through that you grow, through that you learn, through that you overcome, through that you master the new thing, you master the new risk. And even, you know, the way that I used to like not invest in myself and not ever do programs and not ever really learn new things, it's just like night and day difference to how now I really trust myself. I trust myself, I trust my growth, I trust that I'm going to be able to learn from mentors and really push myself forward. So growth is a huge one, and it as is contribution. And right now, if contribution isn't like a really big part of your life, I think really deep doing a deep dive into what your bigger purpose is going to help you understand where you can contribute back. What's really going to be meaningful, right? And so if you haven't yet enrolled, be sure to do so into the Ditch Alcohol and Discover Your Purpose workshop. It's happening this week. It's literally right now. It's on 2 p.m. today. I'm going to go do the third session this week. And then if you want more, if you really want to make growth and contribution a huge cornerstone of your life, and especially of your alcohol-free lifestyle, I highly recommend joining the Become Emboldened group program. It starts on May 30th, and we are going to do 4 months together of not only getting confident in this alcohol-free identity, but using it as this leverage point to go after your bigger dreams and to really hone in on discovering your deeper purpose and going after it in a community of women who are doing the exact same thing. We're going to have some incredible guest speakers. We're going to have group coaching calls. We're going to really push ourselves outside our comfort zone in this program in the most loving, supportive way possible. So if you're interested in that, please go to becomeeuphoric.com/emboldened. Enrollment is open and it does close pretty quickly because we get started. So, if you're at that junction, like there's not that many things out there that really help women at this stage, that really help someone who's already removed the alcohol from their life and really wants to find their deeper sense of purpose and growth and really create something themselves that they can then contribute back to the world. That's like not really, most programs just help you remove the alcohol, right? And this is what I care so much about this because I literally could care less just about the alcohol. It's not about the alcohol. It's about making space in your life for what you really want, for what you're supposed to do with your life, for your meaning, for your purpose, for your fulfillment. So please join the workshop happening this week, and then I love to see you and Become Emboldened. I really believe it's the next step for you if you've already changed your beliefs around alcohol, if you are taking a break and you want to go deeper into your purpose and potential and to really take a chance on yourself and uncover what your greater roadmap to growth and contribution will be in a way that's probably going to also give you financial abundance. So thank you so much for joining. I will see you next week, and I hope you have a wonderful day.